What's going on, guys? Supersavage 789 here, bringing you guys another video. Today we're doing What If Bardock and Gine Went to Earth, Part 6. In the last part, we not only covered Piccolo's induction to the Sun family, but also Raditz showing up to Earth. Bardock revealed he'd been preparing for his son to reunite with them for a while, so they can begin planning to take down Frieza, which is where we left off. The Z-Fighters would all assemble on the lookout where Bardock would take charge of the training. Even people like Gine, Roshi and Gohan would be forced to partake in the battle. With Bulma understanding the seriousness this training holds, she'd allow Trunks to also begin training, which Kakarot would be rather happy with. Over the year, the training would be rather intense. With everyone training together, there'd be some rather interesting character interactions. One of these would be the two brothers who had only recently united. Kakarot and Raditz wouldn't really get along. With Raditz believing he's stronger than his younger brother, he'd think he's superior, which would get under Kakarot's skin. Raditz would also make remarks about how his father must be waiting till Frieza is dead before he scraps a wretched planet. The duo would spar, with Kakarot always coming out on top despite suppressing himself. Bardock would forbid anyone else intervening, stating that they should just focus on their own training. After one of these training sessions, Raditz asks his brother how he always wins despite his puny power level. Kakarot tells him that his fighting style has no finesse. It's sloppy, he can see right through it. If he wants a chance at defeating the Saiyans, he should try learning martial arts. This idea sounds pathetic to Raditz, making him look away from his brother in disgust. As he looks away though, you can see everyone else training together. The way they move and fight is so much more tactical and even beautiful compared to his brute force. Even his father is partaking in this. So after swallowing his pride, Raditz begrudgingly asks his brother to teach him. Kakarot would then begin to teach his brother martial arts, taking lessons from what his former teachers taught him. It'd be funny seeing Raditz had to do things he sees as dumb, like running with milk bottles or planting vegetables, only for him to overdo it. Through this, Raditz would get to see the world for what it is and how beautiful it is. He'd even meet Oxy and Chi-Chi, and while he doesn't care for humans, he does enjoy Chi-Chi's cooking. Through the months, Raditz would begin to lighten up more, especially when the trivial tasks stop and the fighting picks up more. The brothers would enjoy each other's company as fighters and eventually as allies. Through martial arts, Raditz would learn inner peace and how to better himself, the perfect example of what it should be used for. Some other notable interactions would be between Piccolo, Maki, and Trunks. It'd be a fun dynamic with the boy getting trained by his uncle and aunt. Since he isn't timid to fight though, he'd be very eager and cocky, so Piccolo would have to beat that out of him. Gine would primarily train with Gohan and Roshi since the trio can take at their own pace, without slowing everyone else down. As for Tenshinhan, Chaozu and Yamcha, they'd also be training together. Since Yamcha is stronger here, Tenshinhan would see him as more of a rival, so their training would be a lot more intense. Our final group would be Krillin and Bardock, surprisingly. Determined to surpass his rival, Krillin trains with the strongest man there. Even though he's nowhere near Bardock's level, Krillin can keep his head in the game and actually do stuff. It gives Bardock a sense of respect for the monk they didn't previously have. It also gives Krillin some ideas on how to defeat the Saiyans. After the 1 year of training, the power levels of everyone is Kakarot 15,000, Raditz 12,000, Bardock 28,000, Krillin 7,750, Piccolo 9,000, Maki 8,500, Trunks 1,641, Tenshinhan 67,000, Yamcha 69,000, Chaozu 1,525, Gine 4,300, Roshi 5,150, and Gohan 1,718. The moment the Saiyans arrive, every fighter heads to the desolate wasteland to prepare for combat. Bardock lets them know that they might die, but as long as they have the Dragon Balls, they'll be fine. They shouldn't hold back, but under no circumstances should they kill Nappa and Vegeta. They'll definitely need them against Frieza. Raditz wants to protest, but a stern look from his father makes him swallow his pride. After torching the city they land in, Vegeta and Nappa arrive to scout out who their opponents are. Vegeta asks which one of the low-class trash decide to challenge him, which Bardock answers, stepping up to the challenge. Wanting to put him in his place, Vegeta would tell Bardock to follow him, which Bardock would, leaving everyone else to deal with Nappa. Nappa decides if Vegeta is going to have fun, he'll have a little fun of his own. He tells every Saiyan there to fight him, while the weak human and the Namekian go be useless somewhere else. At that remark, both Piccolo and Krillin scowl, deciding that they will be Nappa's opponents. While Raditz wants to be the one to beat down the brute, it'll be funny to see Nappa's pride and body crushed at the same time. Within a few seconds, Nappa would be beaten to the ground with the duo without any notable marks on them. They tell Nappa to listen to them, but his bloodlust is too high. He goes for another blow, but Raditz just kicks him, knocking him out. They want to protest, but Raditz shrugs, stating that if they knew Nappa, they know he can't listen to reason. It's much easier to wait for Vegeta, so he can put his lapdog on a leash. Meanwhile, Bardock and Vegeta would be fighting somewhere far away. Bardock could be suppressing himself as they fight, trying to see if words will pierce Vegeta's pride. He tells Vegeta that if they teamed up against Frieza, they could defeat him. Does he want to get revenge on the person who destroyed their planet? At that, Vegeta would scoff. Of course he wants to defeat Frieza, but he'll do it on his own terms. He doesn't need any help from low-class trash. The moment Vegeta says this, Bardock goes all out, knocking Vegeta through half a dozen cliffs. Vegeta and Bardock begin to fight yet again, however here Bardock is going all out, beating Vegeta with ease. If he won't listen to reason, then he'll listen to fists. Enraged that he's being beaten, Vegeta would ascend into the air, deciding to lay waste to the wretched world. He begins to charge up a Gallic gun, with Bardock rising to the challenge, creating a final Revenger. The two beams' attacks impact, with Bardock easily enveloping Vegeta's. The Saiyan is hurled into the air, his body becoming limp within the heat and the strength of the attack. When Vegeta regains his composure in the air, he begins to think about becoming an Ozaru. That's until he is placed into a headlock by Bardock, telling Vegeta to listen to him. If he wants to keep fighting, then Bardock will just kill him right now. Vegeta would then begin laughing, telling Bardock they've just given him the golden opportunity. Using his tail, Vegeta grabs Bardock's tail and proceeds to rip it out. He then looks straight at the moon, declaring that he doesn't need the help of any low class. He'll get immortality and rule the universe alone. Vegeta would become an Ozaru mid-air and kicks Bardock hard, falling down with the Saiyan pressed against his foot. The duo crash into the ground with Bardock's body becoming wrecked from the collision. Everyone would be present, with Vegeta laughing as he throws around Bardock's broken body like a ragdoll. Being the most enraged at seeing this, Gine rushes in to save her husband, with Kakarot, Raditz and Maki all going to save their mother. Of how focused they are on saving Bardock, they wouldn't notice Vegeta preparing a mouth blast to stop them. On the sidelines, they'd all realize he's doing this and that they have to act fast. Piccolo would act quickly, telling Krillin to throw a Kienzon. Krillin would create the disc and throws it, which Piccolo leaps on, using its speed to overtake his family. Piccolo then uses giant form to shield everyone as the blast hits him. He'd save everyone else, but the blast kills him immediately. While Maki is swept up in sadness at her adopted brother's death, the other three keep going to make sure he didn't die in vain. Kakarot and Raditz punch Vegeta in the eyes as Gine grabs Bardock, retreating with him in hand. Everyone else would all rush at Vegeta, while Gohan and Gine tend to Bardock's wounds. Using everything in their arsenals, the Z-Fighters begin to hold Vegeta down despite his immense strength. They aren't able to remove his tail, however, due to him being able to move around too much. So to hold him down, Tenshinhan would begin to use his Kiko Ho. He fires multiple at the beast, which does keep him in place. It would wreck Tenshinhan's body, causing his muscles to burst, and to him to fall to the ground in a near-death state. This does allow Krillin to throw a Kienzon at Vegeta though. Shockingly, Vegeta is able to react to this attack barely. He grabs the disc and spins it around, throwing it at Krillin. The disc cuts the human in half, leading to a swift death. It doesn't lead to any kind of Super Saiyan though. Kakarot isn't strong enough, and he and Krillin don't have that kind of relationship anyway. With things getting desperate, Kakarot and Raditz both realize what they have to do. Using a combined Taiyoken, they blind Vegeta and fly high into the air, glancing at the moon. In unison, the duo both become Ozaru as they fall to the ground, letting out a combined roar. Neither of them have control over the forms, but Raditz at the very least is able to barely recognize Vegeta as the main threat. Kakarot, however, would merely go berserk, attacking the terrain around them. As Vegeta is in full control, he's able to manhandle Raditz without contest, leading to him fighting a losing battle. Trunks will look his dad dead in the eye and tells him that they need to snap out of it. Despite being a beast, he's able to understand what needs to be done and lunges towards Vegeta, attacking in a vicious manner. Despite both Ozarus teaming up, the fight is still in Vegeta's favor. In a last-ditch effort, Gine will tell Trunks and Maki to come with her, and the trio fly into the air away from everyone else. Since Kakarot is bloodlusted, he'd be taking the majority of the blows. Vegeta would land a double hammer arm onto his head, which knocks him out, allowing Vegeta to remove his tail with ease. Now in his human form, Vegeta would step on the unconscious Kakarot, breaking his body. Vegeta goes to attack Raditz when a massive fist hits him in the head. Gine, Maki, and Trunks also stand in Ozaru, in similar states to how Kakarot was. The numbers won't be an issue for Vegeta, as their strength is still below his. Luckily for our heroes, this was merely a diversion. One by one, the Ozarus all tense up, leaving Vegeta shocked. He looks and sees Yamcha manipulating his Sokidan with a smug look over his face. Upon reverting back, Maki, Trunks, and Gine would pass out, however Raditz and Vegeta would remain conscious. The duo would then begin to fight. Despite the power imbalance, Raditz actually managing to pull ahead in the fight. At least Vegeta is stunned as he questions how Raditz can do this. With a smirk on his face, Raditz states that the true purpose of martial arts is to better oneself, and Raditz has done just that. He would then land one hard punch to Vegeta's gut, as well as breaking his back, leaving him crumpled on the ground unable to move. The fight is over. While Raditz is tempted to kill Vegeta, he knows he needs him alive. Everyone who survived would be brought to the hospital, where they'd be placed in the same hospital room. The 5 that need hospital beds would be Bardock, Kakarot, Tenshinhan, Nappa, and Vegeta. The others would come with minor wounds, except for the duo who died. Everyone would meet at the hospital, with Roshi only having 2 senzu beams from Korin, questioning who to give it to. Bardock states to give it to Vegeta and Nappa, as right now it's most crucial for them to have it. Everyone asks if he's crazy, but he states how it's important for his plan. Vegeta asks Bardock what this plan is. While he isn't on his side, nor does he want to follow orders, he is curious as to what Bardock came up with in his years of sitting on the sidelines. Bardock states how he needs Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz to all head back to the Frieza Force, with a false report that they succeeded in taking over Earth. Since they need to revive Piccolo to return the Dragon Balls, their top priority will be heading to his homeworld in Namek, as that may house their own Dragon Balls. While they have the numbers and the intel, they can slowly take down the army and ultimately all attack Frieza while his guard is down. Vegeta tries to argue this plan, calling it stupid. That'll take years. Bardock states how that may be the case. When it's finished, Vegeta can have the territory and the remaining empire to himself. This shuts him up for now, as he decides to play along. He and Nappa are fed senzu beans, recovering from their wounds and gaining Zenkais. Since the Saiyans understand how Saiyan pods work, they're able to recover all 3 of them. With their armor replaced by Bulma, the trio prepare to leave Earth. Raditz would bid farewell to his family and friends, promising to return for a feast when this is all over. He gets in his pod, and together the 3 Saiyans would head into the stars, finishing off the Saiyan saga and this part. If you're enjoying this series, hit the like button, and let me know you want to see a part 7. I've actually scripted all the way past the Boo saga because I got really bored one night. I can confirm the series is pretty goated. I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty awesome. You know, all the usual stuff. Subscribe if you want to see another video from mine. And yeah, it's already long enough. Bye!